Operation of the Lidarit unit. Before starting the operation, the base antenna mounted on its tripod must already be deployed, on the known point with precise coordinates, and with at least 10 minutes of power on and track prior to the operation. The Lidarit unit is assembled either in a drone, car, or backpack, and the GPS antenna cables and power cable are connected. Before turning on the Lidarit unit, there must be a power supply from the source provided by the vehicle to be used, whether it is a drone, car, or backpack. After verifying the above, the unit is turned on by pressing the main power button. The first LED labeled as time lights up solid yellow, indicating that the GPS time is synchronized. The second LED labeled as sync lights up flashing yellow, indicating that the synchronization pulse between the LiDAR and the GPS receiver is active. The third LED, labeled as GPS, lights up solid blue when enough satellite observations are available to start the process. You must wait until the blue LED lights up, before continuing with the process. In the event that this LED does not turn on, first check that the GPS antenna cables are in good condition and correctly adjusted, both on the antenna side and on the Lidarit unit side. Check that the GPS antenna is not covered by any nearby element or object, or in a deep area in a mountain canyon, or in the middle of tall buildings. If so, make adjustments and move to a clearer point or area to start the process. In cases where it is necessary to move the unit to a different place, the unit must be turned off, and a new session started again. It is clarified that if the GPS LED is not on, and the following steps are still continued, a connection error will be obtained. It is very important to wait for this blue GPS LED to turn on. Once the GPS LED is confirmed on, using a device that has the option to connect via Wi-Fi networks, such as a laptop, tablet, or smartphone, enter the Wi-Fi network configuration and search for a network in the list with the name Lidarit, followed by the serial number of the unit. The connection is made and the Lidarit user password is entered. Wait for the connection to be confirmed, and in cases where a message appears with the text, "Maintain connection without internet," this is accepted so that the connection remains during the operation. Once the connection is made, a web browser is opened on the device and the following IP address is entered: 192.168.50.10. The main window for starting the project is displayed in the web browser. In this navigation panel, you have the option to start the project, or modify the configuration parameters by clicking on the Settings tab. Within the Settings menu, there are first the configuration parameters of offsets and rotations, depending on the position of the unit, and the distances in meters measured from the phase center of the GPS antennas to the center of the IMU of the unit. In the user guide named Offsets and Rotations, you will find the different values of reference rotations according to the mounting position of the unit. For each position, a rotation is associated in the three axes X, Y, and Z. Take into account the position of the laser lens with respect to the vehicle's direction of travel, represented by the red arrow, and the position of the quick mounting coupling of the unit. For example, the third position shown in the table is the one used by convention for drone scans, with rotations 90 degrees in X, 0 degrees in Y, and 90 degrees in Z. To measure the distances from the GPS antenna to the center of the Lidarit unit IMU, it is done indirectly considering for each of the Lidarit unit references, the distance from the flat face of the LiDAR surface, marked in the figure with the letter L. For example, for Explorer R units, this distance is 89 millimeters. The directions of the main axes, X, Y, Z, are also shown. In the Offsets and Rotations user guide, you will find the default reference values for different Lidarit antennas, and M600 and M300 drones. There are also different reference positions for car and backpack mounting. In the Photogrammetry tab, 3 parameters can be modified: the shutter speed, the ISO sensitivity of the sensor, and the capture time interval between photos. The recommended values for a conventional flight are the following: shutter speed, 1/1200. ISO, auto. Rate, 2.5. An option is also available to select between video and photo recording. You must make sure, select the option required for the project and click on the blue button called Set Configuration. The last tab with the name Internet should not be modified. This option is used for support issues and remote updating of the Lidarit unit. Once the parameters have been configured, go back to the main tab and write the name of the project, without using special characters or spaces in the text. In the Save to field, it is preferably selected to record on the external USB memory. Finally, click on the blue button marked as Set Project Name. The web browser goes to the State and Button Display window to send the commands to the Lidarit unit. The operation buttons are activated sequentially as the unit is operated, to avoid inadvertently pressing any buttons during the process. Click on the blue Connect button, and wait for the messages to load in the status windows. The following status messages are displayed. PPS and ME, confirmation by software of the LED indicators marked on the side plate of the unit, such as time and sync. GDOP, satellite distribution indicator, which is recommended to be below 4, before starting the process. Inertial solution, shows the different states of the unit's GNSS solution. Satellite, indicates the number of satellites used in the solution, versus the number of satellites observed by the unit. LiDAR file, shows the size of the LiDAR file when recording. Size nav file, shows the size of the trajectory file with extension RG. PIC number, indicates the number of photos taken. Disk space, confirms the size of the memory where the data is recorded, showing how much capacity has been used, and how much capacity is available. Alignment process. Pay special attention to the status message titled Inertial Solution, to identify which alignment step the unit is in. It starts with the unit statically located. Wait until the status changes to the message Waiting Azimuth. The vehicle advances in a straight line in a front direction, at an average speed greater than 1 meter per second. This speed is similar to walking briskly, but without the need to run to avoid tripping over the unit. This is in the cases of operation with a drone or backpack. During this process the status message changes to motion detect, and you must continue in a straight line until the message changes to alignment complete. This message may take between 6 to 10 seconds approximately to change. Once the message changes to alignment complete, the vehicle is stopped and left still for 5 seconds. Then you advance again making a number 8 figure in top view, considering that the front face of the vehicle is aligned with the trajectory of the number 8 figure. After performing the figure 8, leave the unit still for 10 seconds, and the status message in the inertial solution window will change to solution good. If the message does not change, repeat a figure 8 movement again. Alternatively, for cases where there is little space, and generally by car, you can perform zigzag movements instead of the figure of 8. With the message solution good in the status window, the alignment process is finished. The next step is to click on the green record button, to start recording LiDAR data and taking photos. The route begins either by car, with a backpack, or the mission that has been programmed for a drone. When the scan is done by drone, the Wi-Fi connection is lost between the Lidarit unit and the mobile device on which the operation is being performed. After finishing the drone mission and landing, it is necessary to enter the Wi-Fi settings again and reconnect the mobile device with the Lidarit unit. After being connected again, return to the web browser to finish the LiDAR recording process. It is verified that the size of the files has grown as the scan was performed. This can be verified in the status windows, LiDAR file and size NAV file. LiDAR recording is stopped by pressing the red button marked Stop. Then, the final alignment process is carried out, performing a figure of 8, leaving the unit still for 5 seconds, and then a straight line advancing with the unit for an approximate period of 10 seconds. Then the unit is left still and the yellow button labeled Disconnect is clicked. To turn off the unit, click on the New Project button. This last option sends us to the main window where we proceed to turn off the computer. First, a text is typed in the project name field, and then the power off button is clicked. At this point, the internal computer shuts down. The unit's on/off switch, which is located on the side panel, is physically pressed. The cables are disconnected, the unit is dismounted from the vehicle and stored inside the protective case. Lidarit, digitizing the world.